कलकत्ता आए आप, और जो क्लास 8 और 10 में एक जर्नी आपकी आई, उसके बाद जब 11 में आप हिंदी मीडियम से इंग्लिश मीडियम में गए, तो इफ़ यू कैन जस्ट थ्रो सम लाइट ऑन दैट एक्सपीरियंस, क्योंकि वो बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का, मेरा भी वो प्रॉब्लम रहा है कि अचानक से हिंदी से इंग्लिश में जब हम जाते हैं तो सारी दुनिया ही बदल जाती है। और वो एक सिर्फ सब्जेक्ट नहीं है इंग्लिश, एक माइंडसेट है, और वो इतना कई बार साइकोलॉजिकली इतना झिझोड़ देता है कि कई लड़के वहीं पर धराशायी हो जाते हैं।
मैं वहाँ पे उस स्कूल में सबसे अच्छा बच्चा और सबसे डिसिप्लिन बच्चा था, क्योंकि मैं बोलता ही नहीं था, क्योंकि बोलने के लिए इंग्लिश में बोलना होता, तो मैं शांत चुपचाप रहता था। एक या दो दोस्त थे जो मेरे से हिंदी में बात करते, सिर्फ मैं उन्हीं तक सीमित था।
हमें लगता है कि इसको हर्डल की तरह नहीं रखने देना चाहिए। वी शुड ओवरकम दिस हर्डल कॉल्ड इंग्लिश।
IIT Delhi, I was in computer science and engineering. I enjoyed the hostel life to its peak. I enjoyed staying in the college to its peak.
As he rightly said कि इंजीनियरिंग ऐसा एक प्रोसेस है कि वो करने के बाद आपको लगेगा कि यू कैन डू एनीथिंग। जैसे इन्होंने एग्जांपल्स दिए कि मनोहर पारिकर है, वैसे आप देखो स्पोर्ट्स में भी इवन श्रीकांत कुंबले, दे आर द इंजीनियर्स एंड दे अचीव्ड ह्यूज माइलस्टोन इन द क्रिकेट। So I mean there are even R Madhavan, he is a great, I mean, right. He's a great actor, he is an engineer. So there are the personality who did engineering their life but they became something else. So as engineering आपको एक प्रोसेस है जो आपको सिखाता है कि सिचुएशन को कैसे टैकल करना है और आपको आप जो सोचते हैं उसको कैसे अचीव करना है।
सबने छिछोरे देखी होगी, राइट?
जो बिल्कुल बहुत ही शानदार मूवी।
तो उसमें जितने भी कैरेक्टर आपने देखे, जितने भी कैरेक्टर, आई एम लिटरली टेलिंग यू, बी इट द सेक्सर, बी इट योर वेवड़ा, बी इट व्हाट द रोल सुशांत राजपूत प्लेड, everything you will be able to find, I think, in every engineering college.
So for me, I think engineering is a mindset. That is what we get out of engineering.
Look at last 20 years, IT, there are the opportunities there, and there was mass recruitment happened across the world.
I have seen across organizations, I have seen people usually look forward for engineers or people who have a way of communicating things.
Because there are good days at work, there are bad days at work, and same thing goes with the families. Right, good days. So if there are family events or something, you have to have your backup in your organization or in your team.
So ये होता है इंजीनियरिंग। आता है अब एक ऐसा फेज जहाँ पे आपको अपने जीवन में वापस आना है, प्लेसमेंट्स। How has been your experience about the internship and the placements?
It was good, I think. So मेरे को लगता है internship was the only time when I realized कि कुछ इंजीनियरिंग वाला काम कर रहे हैं, और IT में है तो कुछ IT वाला काम कर रहे हैं। तो मेरी इंटर्नशिप हुई थी जादवपुर यूनिवर्सिटी, वहाँ पे उसके साथ टाई अप था, तो मोस्टली नेटवर्किंग पे हुई थी। तो वहाँ पे फिर हमें एक्चुअल ऑन द रियल ग्राउंड पे क्या होता है, सिस्टम्स के साथ प्ले करने का मौका मिला। और कुछ मीन्स बाकी 3.5 साल में 3 साल बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि 4th ईयर के स्टार्टिंग में होता है, जब समर वेकेशन होता है उस समय वहाँ पे जाके कुछ इंटर्नशिप में ही ऐसा लगा कि सच में हम इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं। बाकी समय तो लगता है बाकी समय तो हमें टाइम ही नहीं मिलता था इंजीनियरिंग पे कंसंट्रेट करने का, दोस्तों में, क्रिकेट में और बाकी सारी चीज़ों में ही बिजी रहते थे। सो बिकॉज इट वॉज अ समर वेकेशन एंड इंटर्नशिप, तो हमें लगा हाँ कुछ अच्छा करने को मिल रहा है और हम भी इंजीनियरिंग कर रहे हैं। और इंटर्नशिप के बाद जब प्लेसमेंट आया, तो I think placement interview was the first time when I was officially speaking English. Officially, okay. That was the first time when I prepared myself to talk in English, because that was the only way to go. So For preparation of placements, like at least in my college, there was some special classes that college was arranging for all the fourth year student who were going to be appeared for interview. So soft skill mainly वो classes interestingly सारे टेक्निकल स्टूडेंट थे बट वो सारी क्लासेस सॉफ्ट स्किल की थी. ऐसा नहीं था कि दे आर हैविंग स्पेशल क्लासेस फॉर जावा डेटा स्ट्रक्चर्स एंड ऑल दोज थिंग. वो स्पेशल क्लासेस जो इंटरव्यू प्रिपरेशन की थी वो सारी सॉफ्ट स्किल की क्लासेस थी. सो ऑलमोस्ट 2 months बिफोर द प्लेसमेंट व्हेन लाइक आवर 2 months before the placements start time, they started this interview preparation classes for all the fourth year. तो प्लेसमेंट जनरली दो तरीके का होता है, एक ऑन कैंपस प्लेसमेंट, ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट. ऑन कैंपस में वो सारी कंपनीज आती हैं जहाँ पे आपके कॉलेज का टाई अप होता है जिन कंपनीज का, और उसमें भी स्लॉट्स होते हैं कि वेरियस लाइक मास रिक्रूटर्स, उसमें भी ऑन कैंपस में भी मास रिक्रूटर्स आते हैं, ड्रीम सेगमेंट कंपनीज आती हैं. तो मास रिक्रूटर कंपनी जब आते हैं, सपोज फर्स्ट कंपनी आपकी आई उसमें आपका हो गया तो दूसरी मास रिक्रूटर कंपनी में आप अलाउड नहीं होते हो. पर ड्रीम सेगमेंट कंपनीज जो आती हैं उसमें इवन आप सिलेक्टेड हो गए हो, कंपनी में आप सिलेक्ट हो गए हो, फिर भी आप उस कंपनी में अपीयर कर सकते हो. ड्रीम सेगमेंट इसलिए बोलते हैं, पैकेज हायर होता है और मोस्टली कंपनसेशन पे ही होता है ड्रीम सेगमेंट. दूसरा है ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट. इन केस ऑफ कैंपस प्लेसमेंट बेसिकली सिटी लेवल पे होता है. कंपनीज अपनी ड्राइव ऑफ कैंपस ड्राइव्स कैरी करती हैं सिटी में या सेम सिटी में डिफरेंट प्लेसेस पे ऑन डिफरेंट डेट्स ड्यूरिंग द हायरिंग सीजन. तो उसमें कोई रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है, सब में रजिस्टर करके आप अपीयर हो सकते हो ऑफ कैंपस ड्राइव में. और इन केस आप किसी भी फॉर सम रीज़न ऑन कैंपस या ऑफ कैंपस दोनों में नहीं हो, फिर बहुत सारे इंस्टीट्यूट्स हैं लाइक सीडेक इज़ वन ऑफ सच इंस्टीट्यूट्स ऑपरेटेड बाय बेसिकली गवर्नमेंट बैक्ड इंस्टीट्यूट हैं जो आपको ऑन जॉब ट्रेनिंग प्रोवाइड करते हैं और आपको ग्रूम करते हैं टू बी इंडस्ट्री रेडी, और प्लेसमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ भी दिलाते हैं ऑल गुड एमएनसीज जो भी हम इंडिया में देखते हैं. सो दैट इज़ अनदर वे. इफ नथिंग वर्क राइट ऑन कैंपस एंड ऑफ कैंपस, students can get admission in SEDAC and they can they will definitely get opportunity to appear for they will get good opportunities in different MNCs that are operating here in India.
And other companies also,
companies as well,
reputed companies. And what are the things which are considered good for on campus?
Yeah.
The preparations.
Yeah, on campus for on campus preparations, like I think in every college they starts interview preparation sessions 2 or 3 months before the actual date of actual time when placement starts. और इंटरेस्टिंगली टेक्निकल जॉब के इंटरव्यू के लिए ये सारे कोर्सेज जो होते हैं मोस्टली सॉफ्ट स्किल बेस्ड होते हैं.
Because that is important for getting selected or how you can present yourself.
So expectation है कि आप टेक्निकल हो तो टेक्निकल आप सीखे ही होगे 4 साल में, बट हाउ यू कैन प्रेजेंट दैट इन अ वे दैट द इंटरव्यूअर और द कंपनीज दैट आर कमिंग दे आर थिंकिंग दैट यू आर फिट फॉर देयर जॉब रोल. बिकॉज सिर्फ टेक्निकली काम नहीं करना है, आपको लोगों से कोऑर्डिनेट करना है, आप अपने ही हायरार्की में अपने कलीग्स मैनेजर से कोऑर्डिनेट करना है, क्लाइंट से कोऑर्डिनेट करना है. तो कम्युनिकेशन एंड सॉफ्ट स्किल इज द ड्राइवर फॉर योर ग्रोथ यू कैन से, बिकॉज विदाउट दैट यू कैन नॉट आप सारी चीज़ों को एक साथ जोड़ के आपकी जो टेक्निकल स्ट्रेंथ है उसको सही तरीके से आप यूटिलाइज नहीं कर पाएंगे अगर आप चीज़ों को सही से प्रेजेंट नहीं कर सकते, सही से आप कम्युनिकेट नहीं कर सकते हो.
True. How has been the trend over the years? Core engineering versus the newest branches. So Sandeep ji, if you can help us to understand and break it up for the audience, it would be good.
Yeah, sure. I think if you look at all the branches of engineering, the oldest branch we think about is the civil engineering, because that the branch, where people are actually learn how to build the infrastructure. So any country, I mean, even in India after independence, there were requirement of so many civil engineers because we wanted to have good roads, we wanted to have bridges. So after that, actually I have seen the drawings which is handmade by the engineers, because that time there were no softwares to draw the drawings. So, but if you look at the quality of those drawings, still they are very good. I mean, flawless drawings. So, I mean, that type, if you that all depends, and when this gradually the branches are evolved. Uh, if you talk about the core branches, you can say that civil, mechanical, electrical, these are the core branches. And over the years, computer science has come, then IT. So other branches started evolving, and few of the branches evolved. These are the sub branches. If you think about the aerospace engineer, anybody who do the mechanical engineering can get a job in aerospace industry. So, but still, I mean, whoever is who's setting curriculums, they feel that okay, aerospace need to be a separate stream now, because they might have not covered the syllabus what is required for aerospace engineering in 4 years of mechanical engineering. So like that, so many branches are evolved now. And as Praveen said earlier, that Y2K era, I mean, that brought the boom in IT. And if you see the last 20 years trends, most of the core engineers and the brilliant engineers who had did the engineering in civil, mechanical, they migrated towards the IT. I mean, IT engineering or computer science industries today is quite flexible to absorb any engineers, but it doesn't happen in other engineering.
And the growth opportunity or the opportunity for
Yes, because what happens is, if you look at last 20 years, IT, there are the opportunities there, and there was mass recruitment happened across the world in IT. So there was opportunity, and if you compare the pay scale the IT industry offers today, it was, I mean, if you take the example of 20 years back, it was much more than the core engineering. But now again, the trend is changing, because I feel that IT today at reached some level where the mass recruitment which used to happen earlier, it's not happening now. There is a decline trend which I can see. But yes, now the core engineering again picking up. People are intent to go to core engineering and wants to make career in core engineering. But when somebody do mechanical engineering and he switched to IT, we used to do the non-core job. We used to tell this as a non-core job. So this is on the core, non-core.
आई मीन आई थिंक अगर इसको ऐसा कहा जाए कि जो आज के दिन में, बिकॉज द इंडिया इज मूविंग टूवर्ड्स फ्रॉम डिजिटाइजेशन टू बीइंग नेक्स्ट लेवल ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब, and we are now from developing country, now we are eyeing to become developed. So next 20-30 years there is a lot of opportunity for engineers in many core branches.
Yes, so if you take energy sector, so till now people were talking about the fossil fuels, but now the trend are changing. People are talking about green hydrogen, second generation ethanol. So a lot of things are coming up, and that required a lot of intense study, lot of intense research. So, and there are the opportunities, because that are the new areas are opening up. So yes, I think engineers are intend to do more and more today in core areas, and want to see that what is available for them.
And being one of the engineers from the core branches, how do you look at the contribution which the IT or the software boom has brought in terms of being played as a IT enabler?
Yeah, of course. Now IT has become an integral part of any engineering. I mean, earlier, if you take example of operating plant which is producing some product. So earlier, your operator has to go there, operate something manually, and do the things. But today, because of this software, various softwares we have developed, a person sitting in AC cabin can monitor the entire production of the plant. He can operate certain things, and he can control so many things. So today IT has been, even if you are today a chemical engineer or mechanical engineer, but if you want to increase your employability, or so you have to acquire certain skills, that added advantage to you, and that will help you to make better career.
So I think in that aspect, if you look at how the job roles has changed, even in core, the people who are doing research, now you don't have to build an engine. You can actually simulate. So whatever you want to test, you don't actually have to build it physically. You can simulate. Secondly, if you talk about 3D printing, for example, you can create anything. It's a software which is there, which is guiding a machine. Now you can go to medical field. You can be in the manufacturing field. Anything that you look at, there is a combination of both the places. Somebody has to find that glue to print, so which is core. And then somebody has to create the software which works with it and print it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now people are making buildings also.
Yeah, absolutely.
3D printed buildings. Right?
Yes. So let's take example of this building. To design the building, you need a civil engineer or architect. But at the same time, to design it on the softwares and model it, you need IT to develop that program,
Right.
and bring up that software. So as I said, now it has become integral part of it. All the core engineering has to have some. I mean to say, they have to have support from the IT to develop further.
So, how do you look at the future of engineers, given that now the chat GPT, artificial intelligence thing are doing rounds, and we know the kind of, the advantages, or things are going to change like never before?
Computer came some 20, 30 years back. People thought the jobs will go away. But I think it created a lot of opportunity for people who earlier may not have been knowing anything about computers, right? People in government job, private job, who used to do everything on paper. Paper are nowhere now, right? Papers used to be thing of past. Everything is now digital. Even the kids getting school or education on the digital assets, right? The COVID taught us all, right? And same way, I think ChatGPT AI, this will, I think, improve the quality of life. It will improve the jobs which are to be done, and it would no longer may be the case that you are doing something that you used to do in past, but that doesn't mean that you will not have jobs. I think it's more about improvement of life and the type of jobs that humans do.
To make us more efficient in doing the way things we are doing today, we will be able to do things in a very efficient and effective way with the help of ChatGPT.
Yeah, so it can be safely said that when we talk about the future of engineers, we can say that a lot of opportunities and new opportunities will come. It's just that one has to focus and upgrade themselves about seizing the opportunities and make necessary improvements in the skills, maybe hard and soft, to be up to that mark so that you can grab that opportunity.
Right. So I think it's so right now we are talking about engineers. That's how the humans are,
correct,
right?
correct.
Or any species which has been on planet Earth. We evolve, we learn new things, and we evolve and become better.
But the competition level will definitely rise more and more, and like
so I think
part of
areas which are getting impacted by ChatGPT is not limited to engineering.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, like surgeries are being done by the robots. That doesn't mean the doctors will go away. Right? Somebody has to tell the robot
what
also
exactly
what
needs
is
to
to be
do.
done, right?
Yeah, true.
So
And yeah,
there is one more example, right? The digital marketing and all those things, the way they happen. You have to write the emails, add the content, like picture, image, backgrounds, everything now you just need to tell. So it's not like that humans will not be needed, right? Only thing is that you can get the things done quicker and in a better way.
true. So coming to you, Praveen, you said that you have run startup also. So how has been your entrepreneur journey, and more importantly, why most of the founders are engineers?
okay, so to answer the first part of it, I was in job for around 10 months, and I was fortunate enough to get the kind of managers and leaders who made me realize that I can do something better. So first thing was that when I was doing it, At the time, I got all the supports, be it the family, be it the friends. So they all supported in the sense it was a hard time, recession time almost. 2010, I started my first organization, and I got to know that how things actually works. It's not just about writing a code. So as an engineer, your first instinct is, I can do this, so I'll do it. Then you realize you have to sell also. Then you realize on one fine day, your employees are there and they are not able to do certain things which has nothing to do with engineering. For example, light is not there, or your landlord is asking for something, or water is not there in the tank. Right? So when you're running your own startup, it tells, or it gets you into a different journey. I wanted to experience some of it. Some of it I didn't want it to experience, but I experienced, and that's how I think in today's time. So I think 2013 or so, the boom started in terms of funding. 11, 12, 13 was the time when actually people started picking up. 14 and 15 became like Uber came into the India, and Ola, Flipkart, everything was a hit by then. So people started realizing the potential which existed in the startups. Not that India was not having startups. People used to run businesses, and it's not really engineers who are the only startup guys. You hear the success story of engineers because we live in that what we call like the Bollywood kind of scenarios. You go to the smallest of the cities in India, like or the biggest of the cities like Delhi. You go to Sadar Bazaar. I have seen people running their own organization sitting on a small stool, literally. एक छोटा सा टेबल लगा के बैठा हुआ है, दिन भर पर्ची काट करके किसी को देता है, वो आदमी जाता है गोडाउन में जाकर के सब लेता है. अभी वो भी स्टार्टअप है. The only difference is with the digital era coming into the play, YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, wherever you go, you see people burning money in the advertisement or marketing. That's where you hear the noise. That's why you know some of these things. That's how it differentiates. So engineers has been startup guys because they have been building those things which makes a bigger impact maybe. And success stories that you hear are mostly from engineers. But that doesn't mean that we don't have startup in India from other people. So I know multiple people, and I have, like, when I was running my own services firm, multiple of my customers were startup and they wanted to go digital. That's why they connected with me. But none of them was actually having engineering background. I had few lawyers for whom I created certain things. I had few educationists. I even had some of the officials who actually got separated from Indian Army and then started something of their own. So startup as an ecosystem in India exists not just because of engineers, but engineers play the biggest role right now. Because the way things has been, without digital nowadays, there is no reach. And startups is all about volume.
That's right.
So that's the reason why you hear engineers being the startup guys.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's all. The entire India, make in India is not possible without, on one side, engineers, on the other side, people who are actually working for it. And money making, like एक बहुत कॉमन सा डायलॉग है जो मैं कभी कभी सुनता हूँ, लक्ष्मी जी उल्लू पे बैठती हैं, ठीक है. तो that doesn't mean the guy is fool. We call उल्लू a fool sometimes, right? हम बोलते हैं उल्लू है क्या, right? आप वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में जाइए, उल्लू इज द मोस्ट वाइजेस्ट एनिमल, क्योंकि वो अपना पूरा सर घुमा सकता है 360 डिग्री, ऑलमोस्ट 360 और 180 डिग्री, whatever, right? But it's only the perception that people have created. It's the person who can look around and make opportunity out of nothing. Create that opportunity and build. In COVID time, there were so many engineers and people, on-road people, who actually made money out of these masks and the sanitizers. It has nothing to do with engineers. It's only that engineers are like, they have been touching so many streams.
Yes. And because of the digital part.
And because of the digital part, for sure. Yeah. That's like the biggest reason why engineers are. Earlier, engineers were the person who was making machine. They need to be there always in the research kind of facilities. So they never had an opportunity to be there on the front. There were some who were having that mindset to be on the front, and that's where they created certain businesses out of themselves, or they created such machines like Tesla. The guy knew the worth of what he was making. Like Edison, he knew the worth of what he was making. Not many engineers know that. In the digital era, that became like very visible to them. They knew like 10,000 people coming to my platform will make me 1,000 rupees. So he started making money, and that's how they make more and more businesses out of it. So I think the major reason why it is there is that.
Well said, and very truly covered. So now we move on to your current roles, like you are leaders, you are working at your leadership role. Now you are on the other side of the table. And from that other side of the table, how do you look at the freshers or the engineers in their young professionals, we call them, who are there on this side of the table? So you are recruiting. Are you getting the kind of resources, the kind of right candidates? How is your view on the employability? What would you look forward, and your message to these young professionals to improve so that they are better hires?
So I would say for past one and a half decade since when I've been in this role, and I've been like running my own startup, or even now, I have seen across organizations, I have seen people usually look forward for engineers or people who have a way of communicating things. It need not be the soft skills, but whatever you have done, you have to be clear about. So if your basics are clear, and I'll first cover the freshers part of it. If your basics are clear and you have actually been honest onto at least few things, whether it is your internship, like Vivek was telling, right? So internship can be one of the opportunities, even if you have like done whatever you have done till your 6th semester. If during your summer and the internship, if you have actually spent time and built something, you can actually make wonders in your placement and even off-campus placements, right? At the same time, if you are still missing on that part, you have to, at some point in time in your life, you have to do some sort of hard work. You have to learn, you have to skill yourself. If you don't do, then there are jobs. So there is a difference between, let's say, L1 engineer, L2 engineer, senior engineer, and so on and so forth. It solely depends on at what point in time in your career you have put in the right effort. So employability, on one side, there is a gap. On the other side, I also see candidates who are still in their 3rd year, and I, let's say, hired them for intern. And I have seen them doing much better than some of the experienced people also, because they focused at the right time. I even have seen people in 3rd year of their college, they have actually created business, and they have sold in some cases also. So are these people employable? Yes, they are employable. The gap comes where at the right point in time during your college days, you had all the fun, but forgot that why you are there. Right? Sometimes that happens because of the flow, because of whatever. But you forget sometime that why you are there. That for sure, as in like it's responsibility as a student of yours, that you should always be focusing at least on figuring out what you want to do. And that's the process that graduation is all about. That's how people, or what you were saying, re-engineer themselves during that 4-year duration. So employability gap, in some of the cases I see. On the other hand, I also see the visibility, the exposure, the type of work that people want to do. So earlier it used to be one engineer has to do everything. So you are given the responsibility that you have to deliver this, you have to close it. Nowadays it is not the case. You have to be like, I want to be the AI guy. I want to learn. Then people will start maybe like during their 3rd year, 2nd year also. Just like somebody preparing for UPSC in their 3rd year. Similarly, people are now preparing for a particular stream. And then nowadays the exposure is up to the level that people already know that I have to go to Germany in this university, or I have to join this company. I want to go to Google. Like you might have been hearing on news about somebody got 4.5 CR package. Right? It's not that the guy would know everything on the day one, but they prepared themselves for that particular piece. So employability is a mix of the skills that you have and also being honest. Sometimes people put many things. I've seen it myself also first time where people put many things in their resume. You ask 3 questions and they don't know anything about it. And then you know, even if the guy is very skilled, but you know that you, as in like you will never be able to know whether he knows something or not, because what is there on the resume is not matching with what he's saying. So it's a mix of, it's not about employability gap, I would say. It's about whether you are honest to what you're doing or not. Secondly, whether you are able to communicate what you have done or not. Sometimes that might also be the case that I am asking certain questions and the guy is not able to. My personal preferences, I usually do whiteboarding, for example, to understand. It's not about syntaxes anymore because languages changes every 3 months. Being specific to my domain, languages changes. In 3 years, like nobody would be writing code in something that I'm writing today. I started my career with, let's say, Java, and then moved over multiple places. There was nothing called Kotlin few years back. For the Android, that is the, or Flutter is the future. So it keeps on changing. It's never about whether you have that skill or not. It's about whether your basics are clear or not, whether you can defend what you know or not. And when I say defend, basically you can excel in what you are doing or not. It's purely from that point of view. In the leadership role, I think usually, or be it a fresher level hiring, be it a mid level hiring, or be it a senior level hiring, what I have seen is it's more about how you present yourself, at the same time how much work you have done in the projects that you are trying to explain. Many a time people lack that, as in they might have done something, but when you ask questions, they are not able to answer.
How is your experience for the core branches about these, at the leadership role, getting recruitments done and all?
Okay, so I would like to split this in two parts. One is recruitment from the colleges, and another is where you are recruiting the experienced people. When you talk about recruiting freshers, so what we normally see that we are operating the multidisciplinary engineering company. So the technical knowledge is very, very important when you get into the engineering companies, because where there you apply your all engineering fundamentals. So first is we see that what is his technical capability. So we test them through various questions on the engineering principles, and then yes, of course, as an engineer we assume that he has a certain aptitude. And then we talk about what projects he did in his third, fourth year, and we try to see that anything he tried to do new in his projects, or what is his thought process behind that project. So, and then we see that how he presents himself, how is his communications, whether he is able to, even if he is not talking good English, that fine, but whether he is able to deliver the thoughts, his thoughts properly. And then of course the attitude, because engineering, it's a teamwork. You have to work in a team. Sometimes you have to lead the team, sometimes you have to be a part of team, and also it's a collaborative approach. One team has to work with another team. So we all see that aspects, and then we evaluate. And certainly the attitude, I mean, whether the candidate has the right attitude. So these are the things we see when we recruit people from colleges. And when we look at the experienced candidate, so when we see the resume, of course, today trends are changing in the industries. So even if you take the example of the softwares we are using in the engineering company, every year they are getting upgraded. So it is very important for the working level people or working level candidates to upgrade themselves and see that what are the new trends in the industry. So whenever you are recruiting the experienced candidates, you see that what exactly he delivered in earlier organization, and what is his knowledge depth on the area which he was working in. So these are the various things, and again, soft skills are the prime. I mean, again, very important when you recruit the people. So these are the area we focuses and see that these candidates meets this requirement.
Thank you. And now, I mean, let's talk about, these are all, official correspondences, communications, your avatar in the office. How about your avatar in the, your personal life? How do you manage the work-life balance, so to say?
Yeah, I think work-life balance is always a challenge. When you go to some leadership roles, you can't deny the certain calls when you get in late night. So, but anyway, there are the ways to manage it. You have to plan your day well. You have to plan your meetings well, and whatever you do, try to finish it efficiently and reduce your coffee breaks. So it is difficult, I mean, to meet all expectations from the family, but I think because when you go to the leadership roles, you travels a lot, and but you have to make sure that at least either Saturday or Sunday you spend with your family, and that's how you have to plan. So yes, it's difficult but not impossible, I think.
Great, great. And what about you, Praveenji?
So in the era of digital, I think systems has to be up 24/7, and to some extent we have to also become machines. But at the same time, be it startup, be it leadership role, you have to be available for your team. That's like where you spend maybe, if not more, at least 50-60% of your life. At the same time, the family deserves similar attention. Right? Try finding time in terms of weekends, as well as I try planning certain leaves in the year where I can spend some time. And also about delegation, as in like that is also connected to how you are taking care of your professional life, where you are having enough people who can actually take the responsibility if you are not around, be it for family reason or something else. So I try doing it. It's hard for sure, but I think to some extent family has also now realized कि इसका कुछ नहीं होगा उस मामले में.
I think very important point he touched, the delegation. I think when you are at leadership level, you have to make sure that there is a one level below you always ready to take
Your
up the
next
things,
level, yeah.
take up the things when you are not around. So that's very important aspect.
And what about you, Vivek? I mean, I'm sure at middle level, which you are playing the role, you will have different challenges.
Yeah, work-life balance is always challenging when you are especially in IT industry. Like Praveen ji said, right? Systems has to be up, and more importantly for me, right? It is the US based customers to whom we are supporting from here. So they work during a time when we call it as off business hours, but we have to ensure that we are able to support them and provide the services they expect from our organization. But still along with all those things, I try to manage, because there are good days at work, there are bad days at work, and the same thing goes with the families, right? Good days, so if there are family events or something, you have to have your backup in your organization or in your team who can take care of things when you really need time, when you really need to give time to your family. So I think as for my experience, I have always been lucky to have a backup who can take care of my work when I'm not there. So that has been my strategy since beginning of my career, to have a backup who knows the things, who knows and who can do the things that I can do at work. Sometimes it is risky, but I still find this as a very good strategy.
Good. And do you follow any passion or hobbies apart from IT and other things?
Yeah. I think I'm a poet. Apart from, I think I'm a poet, and sometimes people appreciate my poems as well. So
आप हिंदी में लिखते हैं?
हाँ, ऐसे हिंदी में लिखते हैं. इमोशनल ज़्यादा हो गया तो इंग्लिश में ट्राई करते हैं. But one thing is that I really take pride in writing, that when people connect with that and they come back, like without asking, they come back and say that, yeah, it was good, I was able to connect, and you wrote. So I really take pride in that, and that is one kind of tool that I use to reboot or refresh myself.
Yeah. Great. What about you, Praveen ji? Anything you would like to follow, or you don't get time?
No. I think not getting time is only when you don't actually plan or manage it well. But I try getting some time for sure every week, which I'll spend with my plants along with the family. I'll spend some time in riding my bike. If nothing else, I'll take my daughter on a ride. So that's refreshing. And in terms of hobbies, I've done a lot of things. As in, like, for some reason, I always had that knack for poems, for example. I used to write Hindi poems. I used to be general secretary in Board of Students Publication in IIT Delhi. So I used to head that entire piece for some time. And then all of a sudden, like, as on today, I try finding time, if for nothing else, to have, let's say, an hour or two of play, maybe badminton or basketball or something in a week. And I think if we get rid of this mobile phone for some time, we'll have more time for family.
काश ऐसा हो पाता. So आपके साथ क्या हालत है जनाब?
Yeah, I think I make sure that I play something on weekends. I maybe a cricket or badminton, and recently I started squash. So I make sure that I allot some time on weekends for these activities. And I love singing, and I also see that I dedicate some time for these activities. So apart from that, I love reading, and also I write in my language, that is Marathi. I wrote few articles. Interestingly, I wrote one article on COVID. Because in COVID time we all are at home, and we used to get a lot of time. So I keep exploring new things, and see that I do something else on weekends.
ग्रोथ वाली लाइफ चाहिए तो अपना प्रोसेस ठीक करो,
अपनी लाइफ ऑडिट करो.